Hi, I'm Annie. I'm a 34-year-old graphic designer with a small business I run from home so I can be there for my daughter, Emma. She's 8 and the sweetest kid you'll ever meet. Smart, kind, and way too sensitive for her own good sometimes. My husband Mike works in construction management and is the most patient man alive, especially when it comes to my family drama. Speaking of family drama, last Sunday was my dad's 65th birthday. We all gathered at my parents' house. Me, Mike, and Emma, plus my brother Jason, his wife Rachel, and their 10-year-old son Tyler. Annie, you're finally here. Everyone's been waiting, my mom said when we arrived, exactly on time. Meanwhile, Jason had shown up 20 minutes late, but somehow received a warm, "So glad you could make it." We settled in the living room where my parents immediately fawned over Tyler. "Look how tall you've gotten, and those new Jordan sneakers look amazing on you." Emma quietly approached with a drawing she'd made specially for Grandpa. "I made this for you, Grandpa." "That's nice, sweetie. Put it on the counter," he replied, without even looking at it, then immediately turned back to Tyler. "So how's that travel baseball team going? Your grandma and I can't wait to see your next game." During dinner, things got worse. The dining table only had 5 chairs, so someone would need to sit at the small side table. "Emma can sit at the kids' table," my mom announced. "Mom, there's only one kids' table. If Emma sits there, where will Tyler sit?" I asked. My dad disappeared into the bedroom and returned with this ridiculous velvet chair that looked like something from a medieval castle. "This was your grandfather's special chair, Tyler. I've been saving it for you." They placed this throne-like chair at the main table while my daughter was directed to a folding chair at the small table in the corner. "But I want to sit with everyone too," Emma said quietly. "There's not enough room, sweetie," my mom replied dismissively. "Tyler needs to be at the adult table because he's older." I felt my blood pressure rising. "Mike, can you help me get drinks from the kitchen?" I needed a moment before I exploded. In the kitchen, Mike put his hands on my shoulders. "You okay? That was pretty messed up." "They always do this. It's like Emma is invisible and Tyler is the golden child." "We can leave if you want." "No, that would just make Emma feel worse. But I swear I'm not letting this continue much longer." When we returned, Jason was bragging about Tyler's latest achievement while my parents nodded along like he was announcing a cure for cancer. Meanwhile, Emma sat alone, pushing food around her plate. "Hey, Emma, tell everyone about your science project that won first place," I called out. "Oh, that's nice," my mom said without looking up. "Did you see the new baseball glove we got for Tyler? It's professional grade." Mike squeezed my hand under the table, his signal for stay calm. But watching my daughter's face fall as she realized no one was interested in her accomplishments broke something inside me. This wasn't just typical grandparent spoiling. This was systematic favoritism, and it needed to stop. The next morning, I called my parents to have a calm discussion about what happened. "Mom, I need to talk to you about yesterday. Emma was really hurt being made to sit alone while Tyler got special treatment." "Oh, goodness, Annie, you're being oversensitive again. Kids need to learn they can't always get what they want. Tyler is older, he deserves special privileges." "He's 2 years older, Mom. That doesn't justify treating Emma like she doesn't matter." "We don't play favorites, Annie. You've always been dramatic. Ask your brother. He'll tell you we're fair." I hung up, feeling like I was talking to a brick wall. The following weekend was Emma's birthday. My parents showed up with a small gift bag from the dollar store containing a coloring book and off-brand crayons. "Thanks for remembering her birthday," I said, trying to be gracious. "We can't go overboard with every little thing," my dad replied. "Times are tight." Yet 3 weeks later at Tyler's birthday party, they arrived with a brand new iPad, premium headphones, and an electric scooter. "Wow, you guys really went all out," I mentioned as Tyler ripped open his packages. Jason smirked. "Well, Tyler actually appreciates what he gets, not like some kids who just expect handouts." "What's that supposed to mean?" "Just saying maybe if you taught Emma better manners, Mom and Dad might be more generous." I bit my tongue to avoid causing a scene at a kid's party. Later, as Mike and I drove home with a quiet Emma in the back seat, she finally spoke up. "Why don't Grandma and Grandpa love me like they love Tyler?" My heart shattered. Mike caught my eye in the rearview mirror as I turned to face her. Honey, they do love you. They just have a strange way of showing it sometimes. No, they don't. Tyler gets the special chair and the big presents. I get the floor and baby toys. That night, I couldn't sleep. The next day, I dropped by my parents unexpectedly. My mom was writing a check at the kitchen table. Just finishing Tyler's private school tuition payment, she explained, not even trying to hide the $12,000 figure on the check. My blood ran cold. Last year, Emma needed her tonsils removed. The procedure wasn't fully covered by insurance, leaving us with a $3,800 bill. When I'd asked my parents for help, they claimed they couldn't afford to assist. You're paying for Tyler's private school? The same year you told me you couldn't help with Emma's surgery? That's different, Annie. Education is an investment. Besides, Jason works so hard to provide for his family. And Mike and I don't? We both work full-time? Well, if you'd chosen a better career path like your brother, maybe you wouldn't need handouts. I was about to respond when my dad walked in from the garage. Neither of them noticed me as I stepped back into the hallway. Did you call the lawyer about the will changes? My mom asked him. All set. Everything goes to Jason and Tyler as we discussed. The house, investments, everything. Good. I don't trust Annie to handle money responsibly anyway. At least Jason appreciates what we do for him. I slipped out the side door, my mind racing. This wasn't just casual favoritism. This was calculated erasure of my daughter and me from the family legacy. As I drove home, tears streaming down my face, I realized this had to stop, not just for my sake, but for Emma's. I called my friend Sarah the next day. She's been my rock since college and works as a family therapist. We met at her office during her lunch break. They've always favored Jason, but it's getting worse. Now they're punishing Emma for being my daughter. Sarah listened thoughtfully. From what you've told me, this sounds like classic generational favoritism. Did your parents ever mention disapproving of your life choices? Only constantly. They wanted me to go into finance like Jason. When I chose graphic design, Dad called it a hobby, not a career. They've never forgiven me. And now they're extending that disappointment to Emma. It's not uncommon, but it's extremely damaging to children. How is she handling it? I showed Sarah a picture Emma had drawn for school. A family tree with her grandparents, Tyler and Jason in bright colors, while she drew herself tiny in the corner with a sad face. Her teacher called me concerned. Emma's stopped raising her hand in class. She says why bother if nobody cares anyway. Sarah sighed. You need to either establish firm boundaries or consider limiting contact. This type of rejection can cause lasting trauma. On my drive home, Jason called unexpectedly. I put him on speaker. Mom said you're upset about the birthday gifts. Not everyone can afford to spoil their kids like we do with Tyler. Can't afford it? Jason, you've been unemployed for 6 months. Rachel told Mike at the Christmas party. Silence then. Rachel needs to keep her mouth shut. Look, what I tell Mom and Dad about my finances is none of your business. That's when it clicked. You've been lying to them about money, haven't you? He hung up. I immediately called Rachel. Annie, I shouldn't be talking to you about this. Please, Rachel. What's going on with Jason's job? She hesitated. He got fired for taking company resources. We're struggling, but he keeps telling your parents we're doing great. They've been giving us money for Tyler's education, but... But what? There is no private school. Tyler goes to public school like Emma. I've tried telling him it's wrong, but Jason says your parents owe him. After I hung up, I checked my email and found the invitation to next month's family reunion at my parents' lake house. Perfect timing. I needed evidence of Jason's deception. I called my old friend Denise, who works at Tyler's supposed private school. Can you check if Tyler Williams is enrolled there? His parents are considering transferring him. Let me see. No Tyler Williams in our system. We've never had a student by that name. Next, I visited the County Property Records website. Jason had bragged about his new vacation property, supposedly purchased with his executive bonus. The records showed the property was actually purchased by my parents 2 months ago. Then I found something truly shocking. A joint bank account statement accidentally sent to my old email that my mom still used for some family finances. Over $80,000 had been transferred to Jason for educational expenses in the past year. As I gathered evidence, I crafted a plan for the family reunion. It was time to expose Jason's manipulation and my parents' toxic favoritism. Not for revenge, but for Emma. No child deserves to feel unwanted, especially by family who should love them unconditionally. The family reunion arrived, and I came prepared with a folder of evidence. As everyone gathered for lunch, my dad stood to toast. I want to thank everyone, especially my successful son Jason, who just closed another big deal at his firm. Actually, I interrupted, pulling out documents. Jason was fired 6 months ago for misappropriating company resources. The table went silent. What's inappropriate is lying to scam money. I placed bank statements on the table. You've given Jason over $80,000 for Tyler's education at a school he's never attended. You're just jealous, Jason shouted. The vacation property you bragged about? Public records show Mom and Dad purchased it. I slid the property records across. Rachel, is this true about the school? My mom asked shakily. Rachel nodded. I wanted to tell you, but Jason said you'd already committed the money. My Aunt Deborah spoke up. I've watched how you treat Annie and Emma for years. It's shameful. We don't, my mother began. You made an 8-year-old sit on the floor while her cousin got a special chair. Uncle Carl cut in. Emma spoke up. I tried really hard to make you like me, Grandma and Grandpa. I got good grades and made you pictures. But you only care about Tyler. From now on, I said firmly, either you treat Emma with the same love you give Tyler, or we won't be in your lives. 6 months later, things have improved. My parents started therapy. Their idea, not mine. They've been making consistent efforts with Emma, showing up for her events and giving thoughtful gifts based on her interests. Last weekend, Emma had her first sleepover at their house. When I picked her up, she was wearing a new art set they'd bought her. Grandpa sat with me for 2 hours while I drew, she told me excitedly. I haven't forgotten the years of hurt, but I've given them the chance to do better. Emma deserves grandparents who cherish her, and I deserve parents who respect me. I won't settle for less again. Would you forgive toxic family members who deliberately hurt your child? Or would you cut them off completely? Annie gave her parents a second chance after they started therapy, but many believe toxic families should be permanently removed from your life, no matter what. What boundaries would you set if you were in Annie's position? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story and want to hear more like it, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. New stories uploaded every week that explore the complicated reality of toxic relationships and the sweet satisfaction of justice.